thanking everyone for joining us this morning for Community Voice. Phone lines are open. It's Monday, 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Good morning, Debo. How are you, sir? Excellent.
Yes, sir.
What's happening, Quan?
Not much today.
All right.
Obviously, Jermaine didn't get the memo, Keith.
What was the memo? Oh, okay.
We have on
beautiful.
our matching. We have on our matching shirts. You know.
He's not a company guy.
Yeah, man. Since Juneteenth, I figured I wasn't part of the team. So.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
Yeah, well, you
quickly.
you have to wear that.
Call me Thanasis.
That bright yellow.
Call me Thanasis.
You bring the sunshine. We were shining.
Yeah, folks. I mean, so they knew where we were at in the parade.
We knew where we were in the parade. Man.
They also knew where I was in the parade.
Oh man, here we go,
Oh,
man.
boy.
Get over it.
I'm
man.
just saying, I'm feeling
Get
some kind
over
of
it,
way, man.
You see movement around you, though. I mean, you see like Clark. You see, there's things happening around you where you're not the new guy anymore.
But I'm just saying, man. Now I need to speak on how I felt because I never released this
Well,
thing.
think next
And
year,
for
man,
mental illness, if you don't release how you feel, it just piles
Well,
up.
next year you be in the parade.
I don't want to be in the parade next year.
Oh, see, not.
You can't
Can't win
with
but
this.
losing.
Hey, Debo, we got an NWA over here.
There's always something.
Clark Kent.
He way in the back.
Way in the back.
He way in the back. All right.
But he can hear you on. He's got the radio on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna start calling you now. NWA.
Yeah, man.
Negro with an attitude.
I still got an attitude, man. I feel some kind of.
You can't even fix it. You know, he won't let you fix it.
No, you won't.
No, man. I hold grudges, man.
Well, let me lot to get to. I have guests coming in today, so I'm gonna do rapid fire on this. Let's see. So where I want to start. Brewers clinch.
Yeah.
NL Central. So that was what it was, because there's some other things happening at the same time, and so thank you, Cubs, for that happening. Shout out to Asia Wilson, 4-time WNBA MVP. She's the truth. That young lady is the truth. She can ball. She can ball. So shout out to her. See what else I got here. I did watch, and I was in and out just on. It was on for 5 hours. I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna hold off on talking about this whole Charlie Kirk thing. But needless to say, I am disturbed, I am concerned, and I am worried. Sometimes we get caught up in the distractions. There are things that are happening that we, have no clue because we all over here with the noise. So I just saw an article this morning in the Washington Post that says that the DOJ is not going to actively support the Open Housing Act of 1968. So if they're not going to look for it. I don't know how people bring complaints. They've already ended consent decrees in Memphis, in Louisville, I think in Minneapolis, but not enforcing open housing, which basically says that they're not going to go and look to see or try to address housing discrimination. And when we look at America, certainly the homelessness, the unhoused, as they like to call it, sanitize what it really is, people who are living without shelter or consistent shelter. It's just one more thing that this administration is doing. And I appreciate someone who I heard on Michelle's program who said that, don't really even care about many of the people that voted for him. That's kind of where we are right now. People can pimp your emotions, and that's what happens. That's why we have to be careful. And certainly when we wrap things up in religion, and black folks are the most religious group in the country. We are the most religious group in the country, but a lot of times the religion gets us in trouble. So I just wanted to mention that. Um, I don't know if anybody watched CBS last night. The the Grammy tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, September 21st. Do you remember 21st of September? You know, this is a holiday for people. People get married. They talk about the number of people who get married on September 21st. Now, if you talk to the late Maurice White, he'll tell you that that was kind of like a nonsense song, but the impact that it has. So last night they had performed at the Hollywood Bowl in July, and they had taped the performance at the Hollywood Bowl. And man, great band. I don't know if that was the L.A. Philharmonic that performed with them, uh, but man, and look, great band. And here's why I say Earth, Wind, and Fire is such a great band. First of all, they had great songs, no question. But secondly, they're great musicians, and it was only highlighted playing with that orchestra last night. Let me shout out Janelle Monáe. Her performance, I think she did. I don't know if she did. That's the Way of the World.
Mm.
But John Baptiste.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
dude was an
man.
awesome musician.
He did That's the Way of the World. Oh, dude, that was so cold.
Yeah.
And the band was cold. So
Keith, but I got a question. I just heard you say that if you talk with the late Maurice, but if you have a conversation with him, then wouldn't you be dead?
no, dude, I'm a psychic.
Call me
I
now.
can channel. You know I'm a Baptist.
Yeah.
You know, all the sorcery, witchcraft we got going on, man. You know the deal.
Oh, Lord, I was just, I didn't know how to make sure.
Right. But if you can, I think you can get it on Paramount Plus. I don't know if they go. Oh my God, it was just listening, hearing that band, Philip Bailey. Now people ask me about a lot of the tribute shows, and that's really a lot of the tribute tours, some of the old school folks. And what I have to do is I have to back up and realize that Philip Bailey is not 28 anymore. And the type of singing he does, that, the falsetto, he's not going to be able to hit the same notes. People may or may not know, in April, Verdine White had stepped away from the band. He had surgery, and so he's back with the band last night. Now, the dude they had playing bass for him is Cole, but last night he did perform about 3 songs. So I'm sure he's trying to get his health back, but he did perform. Philip Bailey pointed out that 50 years ago, when they were launching That's the Way of the World tour, that they played at the Hollywood Bowl. And I know they played at the Hollywood Bowl Juneteenth a couple of years ago, and they had the Juneteenth. CNN did Juneteenth, and they did it. So 50 years later, Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was just incredible. And the number of people who, started texting me, it reminds me of when I was a kid and a black person was on TV. Because it's so rare to see black people on TV, you'd have people calling, well, Keith on TV, Keith on TV. So a lot of people were texting me, wanting to know, was I watching it? And I didn't know it was on. I just happened to be channel surfing because I'm not down at the courthouse today, but I don't know if a lot of people have on Packer gear, because when the Packers lose, we don't put on the Packer gear. How you basically control a game, let me do the math on this, for 56 minutes, only to deconstruct in a way that we have not seen since Seattle. That was just, and we knew it was going to be a tough game because the Browns have one of the best defenses in football. There's no question about that. But see, every time I try to like Jordan Love,
Yeah, I was just about to say
he
that.
does something, and you go like
why? Yeah, like, man, that pass, it makes no sense.
Don't
to
even
me.
get to the pass. What about at the end of the quarter when they probably shouldn't have run a play? They decide to run a play, and then he takes what, a 15, 20-yard sack?
Oh yeah.
And then the interception
Makes no sense.
I mean, you just driving, you just trying to get in field goal range. And then they said in a game like this, so evenly matched defensively, it would come down to special teams play.
Yeah.
What did it come down to?
Special team play.
A blocked field goal.
Yeah.
Then we're not even going to talk about the untimely penalties.
Oh,
keeping drives alive. They got to get better.
Man, that cat.
They got to get better.
Morgan, number 77.
Oh yeah, offensive lineman.
I think he had like 3 penalties back to back.
Man, you can't. The NFL, the parity in the NFL is these are pros. You cannot give them. You can't beat yourself. And the Packers beat themselves yesterday.
And then that illegal man downfield when dude took off, he was 4 yards.
And
I was like, why would you how?
Why? And then it called a screen pass, which means you can only go a yard.
You can only go a yard.
Man, that's focus, that's concentration. Sports is mental.
Yeah.
And your ability to be able to focus when it really matters. And now, though I thought they were going to go down to Dallas and whoop up on Dallas, I'm not sure now.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Of course, they got spanked yesterday. Well,
Chicago.
Yeah, I was thinking I didn't say it in church yesterday, but it's like you both suck bowl yesterday.
Suck bowl.
Suck bowl. And
bowl.
You got the Bears and the Cowboys. Come on, man. But man, and the way that the Bears beat up on the Cowboys yesterday, it was like, but it was a strange Sunday. Who was it? Philadelphia and the Rams.
Yeah, when dude ran it back.
300.
But it was
300. Block field goal.
It was 3 block. No, it was 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, they talk about the number of blocked field goals yesterday. Dude, that was just so. I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I was in my feelings.
Yeah.
But God is good.
Yeah, all the time.
And Earth, Wind, and Fire came on, and it made my day. Because I'm telling you, dude, we taking away shoestrings, belts, sharp objects. They got me in the observation room. Yeah, and then I have to keep telling myself, it's just like I didn't get too excited when they won the first 2 games. Because, 15 games left. I'm not going to be, I sound like I'm tripping, that, so we got 14 left. But come on, man. Yeah. Come on. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's happening?
Is DJ in the building?
It's Monday, man.
You know I'm playing. You know I know that I'm looking.
I don't know, man. We're at the age now where that could be early sign or something. So no, okay, you play it. Okay.
You know why I did that? Because what is DJ? What's his motto?
No passes given.
Yes, sir. So you giving Phil? I mean, I enjoyed this show tremendously. I was doing what you do, calling my brothers. What's up, man? I know y'all watch Earth, Wind, and Fire, right?
Right.
And I enjoyed it. But sounds like you giving Philip. And this ain't. Only reason I'm saying this is because you, Homer, and some other people was giving my boy Frankie Beverly a hard time. Okay. He don't sound no more and all this kind of stuff. So we can give Philip a pass and not Frankie.
I did give him a semi-pass. I said he's not 28 anymore.
No, but y'all saying Frankie can't sing no more. And every time I go, man, the crowd be hyped. And you know what? I got to give you, Debo, and Right out there kudos. Because I Googled who's closing the show. You guys were right. It's Patty LaBelle. So you guys were right on that. Mm-hmm. But I almost got jumped on yesterday. Because when I was in the restaurant and they blocked that punt and came back and won the game, My hands you should have seen all the mad faces looking at me yesterday. They was like, you know you could put in the wrong place, don't you? So I had a good time yesterday. And I just had one more question to ask, and I'm gonna get off because I'm being silly today.
4 minutes is what you had.
Yeah.
I'm being silly today, so I'm gonna ask a question.
Man.
And I'm gonna get out of here. Any of you guys Twilight Zone fans?
The original series? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you?
Yes. Original series.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen Jordan Peele's, but yeah.
Now,
Rod Sterling or something.
And I don't know if I did this on your show because, like you said, I'm getting old now. But they had an episode on there called "The Good Life" with the dude from Danger Will Robinson. What's the program I'm trying to think of? Lost in Space. The little boy that played in Lost in Space, but there's an episode called "It's a Good Life."
Billy Mummy.
And Billy Mom, yeah. And if she didn't like what you said, he would put you out into the cornfield, cast you out into the cornfield, and do something horrible to you.
Right.
So if you have not seen that episode, go back and watch it.
That was one of the more disturbing episodes of Twilight Zone that I can remember. You're right.
And you know who that reminds me of?
Who that?
Your president.
All righty. Okay, man.
I'm gone.
All right. Notice I didn't even react to the fact he was hating on the Packers. Caller, welcome to the program. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let me turn it down a little bit. That's the rules of the road. I did not know, and you know, we're the same age keep. And I did not know Earth, Wind, and Fire was on. I can't hear you guys.
I'm listening.
Okay, so I did not know that Earth, Wind, and Fire was being featured on, was it on television?
Yeah, CBS.
Wow, okay. You know, they come out of the West. I'm from Denver. And so we used to have Earth, Wind, and Fire all the time in the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a lot of shows out there.
Yeah. Philip Bailey is from Colorado. He's from Denver.
They're from Denver, yeah. My brother, he dated, what is her name? The lady with the ranch. What's her name? Pam Grier. He dated her.
That's right. She's from Denver too. That's right.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, let me. Can I do a real quick correction? John Baptiste did "You Want My Love." You want my love, and you can't deny. You know it's true, but you try to hide.
Don't get me started. Come on, Keith.
Oh
man. Now, you know. Oh, and then of course I love the elements. The songs. The one thing I love about Earth, Wind, and Fire is the music that our kids could just relate to, because the music talks about now. I mean, the elements, and they really are talking about climate. Think about it. They're talking about the climate. And they talk about the air. They talk about everything. And some of our kids, if they listen to it, they're like, wow, they really was talking about something. And they some of the kids do listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and they do love it. So I'm glad that they're still out there. And I would like to know, are they going to do a do-over, or can I go back and look at the CBS?
You might be able to go to, I don't know if you have this app, Paramount Plus.
Yes.
Yeah, you might be able to. I think I didn't go to look to see if it was on it. I taped it. Yeah. It had already been out there. I had seen some of the stuff they did. No, I think the last thing I saw was their residency in Vegas. And
what about Netflix? Netflix had a lot of.
I don't know if they would have anything, but it was a great show. It was like I needed that.
Okay.
You know, because it I
wanted to make a suggestion to you all. this is something that, and maybe Ride Out, Mr. Ride Out. Of course, I love you guys, you and Debo. I haven't forgotten you either. Um, Try to see if you can go and look at this movie. Well, it's a series called Travelers. I want you to check that out. It's heavy. It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, it is a very heavy series on Netflix, and you're gonna enjoy that. It deals with the future. I mean, they go over everything. They go over what happens in the future before it gets here.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate you, dear. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Let me also shout out yesterday was choir anniversary at Zion Hill Church. Choir was outstanding. So let me thank the ministers of music there, Chris Tillman and James Lacking, and the choir. But yesterday, young people sang. They had like a youth children's choir. And I'm a talent scout. I know good talent when I hear it. And it was really listening to those young folks and just how really pure their little voices were, and how they sounded was just incredible. So shout out to them. There's one young lady, I can never get her to smile. I said, "You gonna smile?" She goes, "I don't smile." And so I finally did get her to crack a little smile yesterday. I I said this to the congregation that, the issue is not with the kids. The issue is with the adults, and that's always a hard one to swallow. But as adults, we say some things, we do some things, and sometimes we're doing harm to the kids. So I think that's it. Anything? No, we got that WNBA. No, no. All right. All right. You're listening to Community Voice. Again, the phone lines are open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Hey, Byron, good morning, bruh.
Good morning.
And Quan, I don't know if I shouted you out. I did, didn't I? Because I asked you how you was doing.
Yeah, you did.
All right. We have in studio, welcome back, Miss Grace Fuhrer.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
You know, I saw your name. I don't know if you've ever. I don't know if I mentioned this. The Steve Martin movie, The Man with Two Brains.
Ooh.
You never saw it? Okay. And he had this name as Hoffer, and nobody. So that's
That is kind of how you pronounce it.
And she is the director of Historic Milwaukee. That's the organization that does Doors Open Milwaukee. Wow, this goes back to 2016.
So I've been at Historic Milwaukee since 2016. The event has been going since 2011. So this is our 15th anniversary that we're celebrating.
So we see it. I think they're doing advertisements. So what is Doors Open Milwaukee?
It's a citywide open house event that invites the public to tour a number of spaces that are never open to the public, some that are open to the public on one weekend every year. This year will be September 27th and 28th. It's totally free, and it's great for people of all ages, and it takes place throughout the city. So this year we have 165 participating sites.
And I was at a staff meeting last week or the week before last, and Cog Center, the new Cog Center, is one of the sites this year.
Very excited about that. Yeah, beautiful facility.
So it's important, you know, when people do that, to talk about the unique history of, and every city has its own unique history when it comes to architecture, but really talk about like these spaces, the architecture and all these things, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and most of the buildings, the Cog Center is kind of a rare exception of new construction. For the most part, 75% of the buildings are 50 plus years old, and were built as something else. And now, so like the Wisconsin Club is going to be part of it for the first time this year. And that's a private club downtown on Wisconsin Avenue by the public library. Typically, you could only go there if you're a club member or going to a special event there. But it's a beautiful space. And this was somebody's mansion. So it's Alexander Mitchell's mansion historically, but now is an events venue, basically.
So okay, because we see Mitchell,
Mm-hmm.
and there's let's see, we have actually two famous Mitchells here,
right?
Alexander,
we got Billy and Alexander.
Oh, Billy,
yeah.
Billy Mitchell. That's who a lot of people don't realize, that he was a World War I pilot, right? I think he's one of the people who really expanded the Air Force, kind of the development of the early. That's Billy Mitchell.
Yes, that's who our airport is for.
Yep. And
but
then who was Alexander Mitchell?
Alexander Mitchell was basically a wealthy railroad guy.
Okay.
And one of the early European folks that arrived in Milwaukee, had this beautiful mansion built for him, and then also was the money behind the Mackey building and the Mitchell building, which are on the corner of Michigan and Broadway, and Water and Broadway. They're two very.
Is that where the swinging door?
Yes, exactly. The building by the swinging door. So those are very prominent, really beauuful
swinging
historic
door
buildings.
Is really interesting decor. It is a throwback.
Yes, also a historic space.
Right.
And our office is right next door to the swinging door, so we're in the Mackey building.
Okay, and let me do this little shout out. They got great food.
I eat lunch there a lot.
Yeah, they have great food. So some of the other spaces that we're looking at this year, are there addition to? I mean, because are there some? Well, here's a better way to ask this question: are there some that you're always going to have one that's just going to be your staples, or is this like replenished every year?
Both. So we have about 30 new sites out of 165. So we try and cycle in some new things, but definitely a lot of repeats, which is great because you can never go to 165 places on one weekend. So if last year you did City Hall, but you missed the Baird Center, the Baird Center will be part of it. But then we do have, I'm excited about the new sites.
Which is a beautiful space.
The Baird Centers, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. Wow, that is a beautiful space. I mean, just the way, how you, and I'm always, I love how people can, like say, use space, just it's open, it's modern. Wow.
Yeah. And they have a beautiful rooftop terrace that you can see.
Yes.
Nice views of the city, because I know people are interested in that. And when you're over there, the old Polaris, so the top of the Hyatt.
Now, is that still?
It does not rotate, and kind of sadly, you can only see out of half of it. It's not a 360 degree
It must-
view.
Must be the cost of that.
Yeah. So it's stationary, but you can go up, and that's also typically a private events venue. But now you can go up and experience
Because
really
it
nice
was
views.
at one point a restaurant.
Right. Yeah.
The people. Getting back to the Wisconsin club, and now it hits me. Marquette. I know the high school is considered the Hilltoppers. I always wondered where that came from until I realized that where Wisconsin club is, and that goes back to Marquette University, that literally is a hill.
True. Yeah. Right.
And so, and people usually with money would build higher spaces, right? That's one of the things, either near the water or you're in an elevated space. But I hadn't even thought about it, because you do, and it's a bit of an incline. If say you're walking from Val Phillips up Wells, Wisconsin. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When I ride my bike around town, so I definitely notice I'd feel the hills, as you're going up right from downtown towards the west side. Same with Brewers Hill. And its name, it's a hill.
Yeah. It's any spaces in Brewers Hill this year?
Yeah, several. We have a newer space, which is literacy services, and that is on Palmer, kind of at the base of Brewers Hill. And then as you go up Palmer, Sanger House Gardens. Have you ever been there?
No.
So this is a beautiful, like Victorian style gardens in the middle of the city. It's probably the equivalent of 11 city properties that have been over the years combined into one, and it's got this really cool, beautiful Cream City brick building on it. But the showcase is the gardens, and so it's just serene, and the owners have done a really good job taking care of it. And this is another one where people typically have weddings or other events there, and you can come and just tour and hang out during doors open.
And kind of an aside, you see more where people are taking certain buildings and making them like event spaces. Uniqueness. There is the old firehouse over on Hawley Road.
Yeah, Story Hill.
Yeah, Story Hill.
Yep.
Where I went to a fundraiser at, and I know you're seeing more of this certainly out the city, where people have taken like barns and created, incredibly beautiful event spaces where they take. So
there's one on the south side that's going to be part of Doors Open called Villa Arco, and it was formerly a funeral home, historic funeral home, built in the 1800s. That is now a really cool historic event space. And there's another funeral home that's now an art gallery, 5 Points Art Gallery and Studio, that is kind of on the northern end of King Drive, and that'll be open for Doors Open as well.
What about the villa? The
Villa Terrace.
Yes,
Villa Terrace will be open.
Okay.
And they're going to have
Right
a bunch
there.
of fun
That's-
activities there.
that's Lake Drive or Prospect? Lake Drive.
I think it's on Terrace.
Yeah.
So just parallel to Lake Drive. Beautiful views of the lake. Again, another one that was the A.O. Smith family's home historically. Yep. And then they donated it to the county to become a museum in the 1950s.
Wow. Some other spaces.
Yeah. So 43rd and Valete has kind of a nice grouping of sites. There's an event space that is also, was a historic home and now an event space called Denizen. That'll be part of it, as well as Washington Park Media Center, which was a home. There's still like dwellings on top, but the ground floor is a media center and community space. And they do like interactive stuff that you can bring your kids and have fun and paint, as well as artists working in education is right there. So they're going to have kind of activate that whole intersection and have an event at the end of the day as well.
Bayview.
Yeah. Bayview Printing Company. It's always a favorite. So, it's actually was in a church, and now it's been a printing press for a long time. So that's a really cool space that you can see old type and kind of play around and make your own stuff too. We have a couple of churches in Bayview. Cactus Club is an events venue or music venue in Bayview that you can visit. That'll be a new one for us this year.
Anything in the historic King Drive?
Yeah, a lot in King Drive. The America's Black Holocaust Museum, of course, the Bronzeville Center for the Arts.
That's the new building right there on North Avenue between what is that, Fifth and 6th Street, right?
Yes. Yeah. Really beautiful space and art gallery. There's a brewery over there called Dead Bird Brewing. And then new spaces on King Drive is Food for Health, which it was like historically a department store and is now they are doing a lot of really great community work, but you can walk in and just see this really cool
where's
historic
this?
space. The Fine Brothers building.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where that's where the bike or the bike guys
on that block?
It's
Yep.
on that block.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah.
Any churches?
So many churches. Yeah, so many. There's churches in Yankee Hill. There's churches on the south side. The Basilica, of course. Have you been inside of the Basilica of St. Josephat?
No.
It's the one that you can see with the onion style dome off the freeway on the south side.
Mhm.
If you haven't been in there, and you can visit pretty much any time, and they do tours year round, but it's just
Isn't
a
it like
jaw-dropping
one of the
space.
largest domes? in the
Yeah, it's a
country?
very substantial dome that's like
Yeah.
mimicked after something that you would see in
Europe,
Rome.
In Rome.
And the interesting thing about that building, also built in the 1800s, but utilized old salvaged materials from a post office in Chicago that had
Mhm.
been demolished, and they took 500 train cars to drive all these materials up to Milwaukee, and they reconstructed it on site. And I think it was completed actually in 1908.
I don't know if it's I don't know if I'd asked you this last year. Is it St. John's Lutheran, the church that was rebuilt after the fire? Right there on
Near Brady Street.
no, downtown.
Oh, yes. They are not yet complete with that project. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely on my radar, though. Yeah.
And people don't, they thought that the cost of rebuilding Notre Dame after the fire, but it's amazing where we can find the resources to really restore those buildings.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that there are a lot of spaces that we do not, demolish, because at some point they can be retrofitted and used. Especially when you go in and you see some of I'm trying to think, the freshwater folks that are down in, is that Sea Booth?
Mhm. Greenfield. Or
No,
the School of the School of Freshwater
Freshwater.
Sciences is Greenfield, but then Global Water Center maybe.
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
whatever building they're in, but
Yeah.
man, the beams in that building and the woodwork in that building and
Mhm.
how they were able to restore it. Is there any Frank Lloyd Wright buildings?
Yes. Burnham Block, which is located on Burnham on the south side. And these are really interesting because they're called American System Built Homes, and this was Frank Lloyd Wright's vision of what every American could have. So it was his version of like a model Sears catalog house. So you'd just be able to order your Frank Lloyd Wright house and have it put anywhere. This, of course, didn't happen, but we ultimately have one whole intact city block of Frank Lloyd Wright homes, which is pretty rare. So you get to go inside of one of them during doors open, but there's a local nonprofit that's been buying them and restoring them. One of them's actually an Airbnb that you could stay in.
And what neighborhood is this in?
So it's just off of Layton, like
South
Layton
side?
Boulevard West.
I don't know if it's part of it. I don't know, and I always get confused if it's in Milwaukee or if it's in Tulsa. Annunciation Church.
Yes, I was going to mention that too. So that was one of Frank Lloyd Wright's last designs, built in the 1960s. Kind of looks like a spaceship landed on a parking lot, but it's a very cool design. And when you go inside, it has this beautiful spherical shape with kind of a domed ceiling, and definitely worth visiting. They've done a good job.
Yeah,
keeping it up.
you saw some of the church architecture among certain sectarian groups where it instead of it being linear, it became more circular.
Right. Exactly.
And that's one of those churches that's built on that whole circular design.
Yeah. So you definitely have a different sense of shape. Well, and that was compared to the Basilica, which is this huge space, and the ceiling is, very high up. When you walk into the Frank Lloyd Wright church. It's kind of more cozy and compressed.
And just how beautiful. So we talked about churches. Let's talk about some other neighborhoods. We talked about Brewers Hill. What about Walker's Point?
Yeah, Walker's Point. There is Next Act Theater. We also have the Model Railroad Club, which is pretty unique. It's America's longest running railroad club. So they have little tiny trains that that kids can go and experience. And the space
MSOE used to have like the greatest like electric train setup. And actually we would go down just because it was just incredible. First of all, how big it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, cool. The Adventure Rock, do you know about them? They're a rock climbing gym. They have a location on the east side in River West area, and then they have one in Walker's Point where you can go boulder. So people go rock climbing in this indoor gym without any ropes or anything. So if you fall, you just fall onto a padded mat. But it's amazing to go watch these climbers.
So speaking of River West.
Yes, that's my neighborhood. And yeah, lots of sites there. Woodland Pattern, which is a beautiful poetry bookstore, and they have an art gallery there too. There's a newer place in River West called River Press, which is also an art gallery. It's like a home duplex on Humboldt, and they're going to be making ink blotted, like really cute little prints that you can take with you when you go. The Robotics Club of Milwaukee, so it's a great spot to bring kids and play around with robots. The Quaker Meeting House,
Yes,
located on the Milwaukee River, beautiful setting.
and you can see deer.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
we've had meetings there. You can see deer.
yeah.
Some other, let's see, I want to do neighbor. Is this all like, it's not just the city of Milwaukee, it's the county of Milwaukee, it's just the city?
We do have some that are outliers. So one that I'll shout out is Karma Labs. So they're the makers of Carmex chapstick. But what's really unique about this space is not the Carmex. They actually are they house the world's largest pipe organ. So you can go there and you hear like beautiful pipe organ, which is really unexpected. And they give chapstick away when you visit. You can also go to Schlitz Autobahn, offers tours for free that day.
That's in Bayside, right?
That's Bayside.
Yeah.
Yep. Linden Sculpture Garden.
I've driven past there. Is there a cost to get in there normally?
Typically, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's free.
I always wanted to go in because that's on Brown Deer or Good Hope.
Yeah, Brown Deer.
Brown Deer, and I would drive by, and I just wondered, wow, what's in there?
So the Bradley family bought this land and had their home there, and started collecting sculptures, and now it's just this really beautiful estate that is an outdoor museum essentially.
I live in the Enders Park area. Anything up near us there?
Now I have to look at my map. Definitely west side locations, like in the Heights more so. Washington Heights, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a couple churches there.
Oh, right there on what street is that? It's not Belite, it's the street before. Oh, Washington. Isn't that Washington Boulevard?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, let me look at
I know that there is a St. Sebastian's had done some work.
Yes, and they are participating.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
St. Sebastian's.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let me be morbid for a minute. Do I do any cemeteries?
Of course. Oh yeah, Forest Home.
Forest Home.
Yes.
Which is probably the city's historic.
Most historic. Yeah.
Most
absolutely.
historic, right? In terms of the folks who
all the beer barons are buried there.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the as it relates to my late pastor died in 1974. And I remember us going to his burial was at Forest Home. My mom explained to me, she said that there were many cemeteries that would not bury Black folks.
Mm,
Forest Homes was one of the ones that did.
correct. Yeah.
And so that you have all the beer barons. I think Pabst is Pabst there.
Pabst.
Yeah,
Schlitz,
you go
mhm.
through. I just love whenever I go to DC and I have time, I always visit Arlington National Cemetery
Mhm.
just because I love the layout and it's this hill, and so we do have Forest Home.
Yes, and Calvary Cemetery opens their chapel. So that's a west side.
Calvary on the west side.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'll get some other neighborhoods here.
The near west side is really going all out. They're providing, so Near West Side Partners is doing a shuttle.
Okay.
They have a couple new locations. Davidson Park is a beautiful newly
yeah.
constructed park out by Harley Davidson.
And that's also like an event space. They have shows, concerts over there.
They do. Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
big boxing match this year.
Oh, did they?
Mhm. We had a couple weeks ago, because this is our 15th anniversary. We did a find your key to the city scavenger hunt. So we hid keys in Davidson Park, Mitchell Park, and Red Arrow, and tons of people visited Davidson Park. So it's definitely become a popular spot.
How do you want either select, or do people say, hey, I want to be a part of this? How do you end up getting your listings?
It's a combination of both. I think it's always been a priority to not just showcase downtown, but Milwaukee's neighborhoods. So being in touch with our neighborhood partners to say, hey, what's new? Like calling up the Near West Side and saying, what's new in the neighborhood? What should we know about? So Uplifting Mansion is another new site in the Near West Side that's on Wisconsin Avenue, kind of across the street from the AAA Shrine Center. It was a historic mansion. Again, this is kind of a theme of like somebody's old house, and it's now an events venue. But they have an art gallery in the lower level of this space that features neighborhood art. So they have like an artist in residency with somebody who's actually from the neighborhood.
Anything on the college campuses, UWM, Marquette?
UWM has they have this super interesting space that's on the rooftop of one of their buildings, the old hospital. But the space is a greenhouse. So, and it has all these really cool tropical plants that you can visit while you're there. The planetarium at UWM is open. Some other cool spaces there.
So it's pretty much, it's wide range. So how do we need to register to be part of the tour? Or
everything I've talked about today is free and open, no registry required. You visit the website doorsopenmilwaukee.org and just check the hours. The official hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the 27th and 28th. But some sites might just be open one of the days or have reduced hours. So you just light up your hours.
And I don't know if I
anytime.
mentioned that the new Marsha P. Cogs Center is that's right there on 13th and Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, a lot to see. We also do have a kids passport this year. So it's a printed guide to about 20 sites that are doing really specifically kid-friendly activities that you can visit.
We had an opportunity. We were out in California. And I think when you're talking about these mansions, we had a chance to visit the Hearst mansion there, and to see these homes, and they go in and out. Again, it's a museum space in terms of stuff. So when you get a chance to go in, it really takes you back.
It does, yeah,
to a different period a lot of times, and you get the history of kind of what's going on in the city, and just see how things have expanded.
Yeah. And I kind of like that Milwaukee is mixed with places like that preserve, like the Charles Allis Museum, which is preserving the house. But then you can also go to spaces that are renovating and having really new cool uses in the space. There's an old European sausage storefront on Muskego Way, like on the south side, that is now home to Tactile Craftworks, and they make leather purses and wallets in Milwaukee. So it's really interesting to see, like what old manufacturing or historic uses are turning into in a modern way.
Ms. Grace Fuhr, again, here from the Historic Milwaukee, the organization that brings you Doors Wide Open. We have a caller. Want to get a caller real quick?
That'd be great.
Caller, welcome to the program. Five. We got five. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Parris. Thank you. Yes, you do have a caller. I am so excited about Doors Open Milwaukee. all of the spots you mentioned this morning. I wish I could go to all of them, but I'd like to know if you have a printed copy of your pamphlet, or do I have to download it or go online?
Yes, we do have online. There's when you go to doorsopenmilwaukee.org, there's a button that says downloadable list of buildings.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
Okay.
click that, and it's about 5 pages long, and it
Okay.
lists all the sites, the address, the hours, and accessibility notes.
Okay, I'll do that tonight. And also, will the downtown post office ever be open for us to look around?
That would be very cool.
It would be.
I really like that idea.
If not, it would be nice to see that in the future. Thank you again, Mr.
Thanks for that
Parris.
suggestion.
Oh, you're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Even that, and I don't know because probably security concerns, the federal courthouse, right?
So they actually have participated many times. They were not able to this year due to federal funding cuts, because they typically apply for a grant to pay for their security staff essentially during that weekend.
Okay.
Which is too bad, but we'll miss them. But we are doing actually ticketed tours of the exterior of the building this year. So some of the staff said we'd still love to share about the federal building, so you can tour the outside of the building this year.
So again, Miss Grace Fuhrer, and you can go to, am I doing, the website is?
doorsopenmilwaukee.org.
And that will be this weekend. Looks like Saturday's going to be a pretty nice day.
Yeah, I haven't even checked the forecast.
Yeah.
I'm too
80,
nervous.
close to 80. Too nervous. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice. The phone line's open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. I did watch In and Out. It was on. Watched the Charlie Kirk memorial yesterday, and boy, lot to unpack there. A whole lot to unpack. Yeah, it's one of the whitest events I've seen in a long time.
Real white, dog.
Oh my God, it was so white. And every now and then you might see us. I don't, and again, it was a 5-hour. It was a 5-hour ceremony. I don't remember any black people speaking.
I think Tim Scott spoke. Didn't he speak?
Did he?
I think
I don't know if he did. No.
let me see.
No, I don't think it was. And one of the ironies, and you always get the little backstory. One of the ironies is one of the first groups that he went to organize or to work with were black conservatives. But everything from the Hitler Youth, Mr. Miller, who I don't understand this dude. He's a Jew, but I don't know if he understands that a lot of what he says is a lot of what the Nazis said in order to set up the genocide of Jews in Europe during World War II. Many of the people there, now I'm gonna tell you, surprisingly, two people that really surprised me in terms of how good their speeches was Donald Trump Jr. He actually, I ain't just talking about the content, but actually he had a very good speech, and he did he had great delivery. There was also Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, and she pushed all. I mean, it was hard to watch because this woman is obviously grieving, and the pain that she experiencing, and baby, she said that, and this line kind of stuck out with me. She said that when she went to visit then her dead husband, and she said that there was a heartbreak that I experienced that you could never imagine, that level of pain. And you kind of go back and go like, wow, okay. But there was, look, it's always about Donald Trump. Always about Donald Trump. Everybody's talking about the situation with Jimmy Kimmel. And I don't know if you all are aware of the timeline. I don't know if you all have seen the entirety of the clip. But the thing that set Donald Trump off wasn't so much that Jimmy Kimmel had inferred that that this guy could have been part of MAGA. Okay, there were some people who were upset. Some of the MAGA folks were upset. What set Donald Trump off was that if you watch the the clip, what he does is Donald Trump is either getting ready to get on a plane or get on a helicopter, and somebody asked him after Charlie Kirk had been shot. It must have been a day or 2 days later. Asked him how was he doing because of their relationship, and Donald Trump kind of said, "I'm doing okay," and then immediately started talking about the new ballroom that they were building there at the White House. And what Jimmy Kimmel was saying was that this dude has no empathy because he is like, oh yeah, Charlie died. Okay, that is what it is. But we're building a new ballroom here. And I think Jimmy Kimmel said it's like a kid, a 4-year-old grieving a goldfish dying. And I think that's the point he was trying to make, that this man has no empathy. At the end of Donald Trump's speech, oh my God, because he can't help it, can't help himself. It's always about him. It's always about him. So at the end of the speech, he said that he was going to give Charlie Kirk the Medal of Freedom, right? And then he called out Erica Trump. I believe she's grieving. So when she comes out, she just kind of lays her head, and they're showing some of the shots, and her trying to get a hug from him, and this dude kept pushing her away. You got to watch it. It was kind of kept pushing her away. He didn't have any words of comfort. He kept telling her, look it out, all the people, and oh yeah, he did mention that 5 times, how big the crowd was. And that's, and we ain't gonna even get into all kind of short penis issues he might be dealing with. But to talk about the size of the crowd, and but there was nothing. I mean, she literally laid her head on it, and that's when you get the big bear hug, right? And let her know. He just kept pushing her away, right? Because he has no empathy. He doesn't care about other human beings. The only human being he cares about is Donald Trump. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning. Let me turn my radio down. I'm surprised you don't have no hell and chaos coming to your radio station, because everybody know he was a thumbed down racist, and even though he's gone, shouldn't nobody give a damn? And you got all these Bible crusaders, these religious hollowers, after they get pissy, drunk, and high, they know how to tote every Bible verse. You had this white man talking about black people like black nigga trash, and you don't hear now not one of them. God said, the Bible said, Jesus talked to me. They supposed to be blowing the hell up out your phone line. And yes, I know y'all just went to church yesterday. So I'm talking about a lot of y'all. And I think a lot of y'all ain't saying nothing because you agree with it. But when you get in that brandy, that VSOP, and that tequila, everybody messing with your husband, every belligerent word in the book. But now when it comes to gay, I don't hear none of you religious backsliders who say that saying anything on this radio station. And it is sickening, because a lot of y'all read the Bible, know the Bible, push all that hate, but ain't none of y'all got 2 things to say today. What the hell is going on? And that's why a lot of people don't F with a lot of these religious people, because when they get mad, they get upset, then you get all this hate, but then when somebody uses hate against you, y'all don't got nothing to say. You got to get drunk. You got to smoke you a J. You got to think somebody effing your head when to open your mouth. This is the perfect time. Have a good day.
Brimstone.
Help us. 414.
Wow. 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 Doctor. Wow.
John Howard Wesley, or is it Howard John? Howard John.
Yeah, Howard John
Wesley
yeah.
said that no place in the Bible
Yeah.
should we ever endorse evil.
Right.
The point that he's making, I did see a little clip that TD Jakes did. TD Jakes said, I didn't know who the dude was until he got shot. And then TD Jakes went in, and I think he's doing this from his perch as a pastor, to say that a woman lost her husband, parents lost their child, kids lost their father. And he made this point. He said that, kids don't care about what your father does. Father ain't coming home. He also said that, it's like when I had the heart attack. Y'all saw Bishop having a heart attack. My kids saw their daddy having a heart attack.
Yeah.
So to be able to understand, and I think most people have prefaced their remarks with, no matter what you say, it does not mean you should lose your life. Most people preface it with that. And we need to be able to separate, though, that there were some things, not only that he said that he was doing, right, that would be he's gone after trans people. One of the interesting pieces was he was in Utah and he was getting ready to have a discussion with a Mormon about Mormonism. Mormonism. And so, you know, and now I'm hearing, well, all of this is Christian identity and Christian identity. So now where I am wrestling, or what I'm wrestling with, is that, yes, it's Christian identity, but it's also politics.
Yeah.
That you're using that. And so then I have to back. So what about those of us who might be progressive and we organize and we use the church and we justify, and I say justify, and I'm not saying that negatively, that we justify our approach to how the gospel is executed differently than these folks. Because one of the things in my reading of Jesus was that Jesus had compassion for others, for marginalized. You know, you know, I always say you fresh set of eyes, and there is there's an interaction. Jesus is in Jerusalem for the Feast of the Tabernacles, and I don't know if that's when they cleansed the temple, but there were some things going on, and so the Jewish authorities confronted him, and that's why I was telling you guys about your mama. And but the name that they used to disparage him was, they said, "You must be a Samaritan."
Sure did.
And so then we have instances. One, we have the woman at the well who was Samaritan. So we got two things going on. Not only she's Samaritan, she's a female during that time. You also have then the parable that he uses, the story of the Samaritan providing aid to someone, people who had obvious hostilities towards him. And so that man who was put upon, and his own people would not provide the aid and the comfort. It was that other. It's the story that Daryl Hines tells about being hit by lightning, laying there on the tarmac. And he said, you know who was praying for me? No, this pants wearing, lipstick wearing, cigarette smoking Baptist woman.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because, you know, we're not saved.
That's what they say.
They.
I say it too.
You say it too. It is the other. And that's why it tells you, you need to be careful of how, because we buy into some of the other stuff. Right? There's people that, or a group of people that we look down on, that whole other. But guess what, y'all? We're the other.
That's true.
And though they haven't come for you right now, it doesn't mean they're not coming.
Matter of fact, Keith, it just came out, man, that it has been a bomb threat towards the Church of God in Christ. And
for taking that money from Target?
No, you're so stupid. No, somebody preached a sermon about this whole Charlie Kirk thing.
Shear came out with a statement.
And that's why he came out with the statement, because he almost had to close down the C.H. Mason campus because of how many bomb threats was coming in. Now, you know, in November is the convocation. So,
but shouldn't that kind of send up like red flags that though these folks claim to be Christian,
exactly,
they're not? How can you, if I say something that you don't like, that you call it in the name of Christianity and white Christian identity, folks, you know, it should. The fact that Dr. King said that 11 o'clock is the most segregated hour in America,
it's so true.
On Sunday morning, it says a whole lot. And that's why you hear me, I reject white Jesus. I reject white Jesus. We need to stop embracing white Jesus, because white Jesus is symptomatic and emblematic of white superiority. And if you're a Trinitarian and you kind of don't understand a lot of times about white Jesus, that white Jesus comes from a white God and Jesus was anything but white, caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Keith, Jermaine, Debo. I just want to ask you a question. I don't agree with with he should have been able to say whatever he wanted to say, no matter how ignorant some of the things that he said was. But the thing that troubles me is J.D. Vance said that he's a friend of his and flying him on Air Force One. My question to you is about the funeral. Did the taxpayers pay for that?
No.
Should they have paid for that?
No. There was probably, well, obviously taxpayers paid for the security.
Okay.
Right. So because that's Super Bowl level security. So taxpayers paid for that. The president's there, the vice president's there, you have cabinet members there, members of Congress there. So that, but my understanding was that they had been doing fundraising for that event. And which gets,
how will we know?
I'm gonna Google it.
And okay, when he flew his body on Air Force One,
Air Force Two,
the taxpayers paid for that, right?
No, it was Air Force Two.
Yeah. Two, there was still, every time both of those planes are used, taxpayer,
right?
Yeah, money is used for that. So,
now, the way it's supposed to act, like if it's a political event, let's say the president is flying to a political event, he'll probably have some government thing he will do, but the political part of it is supposed to be paid for by the campaign, right?
Okay.
But
I'm sorry.
Go on, man.
No, and did you hear a reporter ask Trump a question about? He had something about Charlie Kirk, and Trump just started talking about the ballroom that was being built.
That's where Jimmy Kimmel got. That's where Jimmy Kimmel got in trouble because he ran the tape.
Right. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to ask. I just wondered if the taxpayers had footed a lot of that. Well, they did foot a lot of that, the cost, I guess. But I just want to know. So okay, I appreciate it. I'm gonna hang up and listen. Thank you.
Okay. Now this is from a news outlet in KJZZ, I'm assuming down in Arizona. They said that the cost to hold a Charlie Kirk memorial at the state-owned State Farm Stadium in Arizona while keeping safe mourners, the president and other top officials is unknown. Last week, they talked about the event is the largest mourning since John McCain. They talk about in Arizona. The Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority owns the stadium in Glendale. An authority said that event contracts done by separate stadium managers are confidential. Now, that I don't understand because that's a publicly financed venue. The managing firm called Legends Global did not reply to questions. Also silent is the Arizona Cardinals. And then they're going to read, they said that the governor's office said it has no role in authorizing events held at the stadium and that the pay for state troopers working for Kirk's memorial will come from Legends Global. A stadium authority spokesman said concessions minus alcohol will be available, but it does not say who paid. Caller, welcome for the program. Good morning.
Good morning. You mean to tell me the great pumpkin have thin enough skin that he feel he can't be talked about?
Yeah, that's basically what we're saying.
I have my radio off and I'm still getting the echo. Is that coming from you or my end?
Could be your end. Turn yours down a little bit.
I turned my radio off.
Okay. I'm a little hot. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I can't say what I want to say. I ain't got nothing but the devil's prayer for him anyway. So let's just put it like you other people say. What a moron.
Yeah, well, they raised a lot of money in the immediate aftermath of his death, which would not be surprising. I know that when Jimmy Swaggart died, that they saw incredible uptick in terms of contributions. So I'm still looking to see who paid for it.
But check this out. What do they call him? A martyr?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And who died?
No, you can be a martyr.
I'm like T.D. Jakes. I didn't know who he was until I saw the reaction from all of them because I never heard
Dr.
of
King
him.
was a martyr. I'm not equating him with Dr. King, but people.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
People say that if you die for the cause, you're a martyr for the cause, right? So, all right,
what
man.
What do they call? Because I feel like they just had a big KKK plan rally yesterday. So, as far as I'm concerned,
kind of felt that way a little bit, but you know. All right,
that's
man.
the way I saw it, and that's the way I'm calling it.
All right. Appreciate you.
All right. Have a good one.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Phone lines open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5350. A little good stuff. Hey, I was a member of the Grateful Red. Anybody know that's one of the monikers for the Wisconsin Badger football team? Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Man. I don't know if it's the coach. So here we go. And I semi-traveled with the Badger football team. I know I went down a couple years ago to Northwestern when the Badgers played Northwestern for their homecoming. We were fortunate. Someone got Rhonda and I tickets when Wisconsin played Notre Dame at Soldier Field. So I get a chance. So I met Chris McIntosh, who is the AD at Wisconsin. But man, I'm worried. No, I'm not worried because I ain't that deeply invested. But the Badgers, and I think that there are other schools who probably can offer more. And so what you get, and look, teams in college now being built on the transfer portal. That's how you're getting a lot of your talent. You can have a great high school player. That's great. But now they're getting, and it makes sense, man. If I get a guy who's played 3 years at Alabama or played 3 years at Boise State, as opposed to a freshman coming in, that guy with the 3 years of experience is probably going to be more beneficial to the team than having freshmen come in where you have to develop. Every now and then you have a freshman who come in and they're a stud, right? But for most of them, you really have to develop. You develop them. That was the old approach to Wisconsin when it came to their offensive linemen. They figured dude gonna be here 5 years, right? Redshirt him his freshman year, and then began to slowly move him in to the lineup. You don't have that time anymore. Same thing with Wisconsin basketball. It used to be like Frank Kaminsky played 5 years at Wisconsin, right? Redshirt him as a freshman, and so then when you get, and that's why if you notice, the teams who make the Final Four, the Fab Five was an anomaly, right? Because you're not supposed to have freshmen going in being able to compete. Because usually, the team that's more mature, team that has more upperclassmen, usually going through the NCAA tournament is usually going to have a little bit more success or more success than someone who's just loaded with like again. Now the Fab Five, that Michigan team, that's an outlier. First of all, how do you have any squad that has 5 freshmen that cold that's playing for you? That's just so rare. If you got one, Duke does a pretty good job of getting Kentucky. There's certain programs always going to get a blue chip player or a couple of blue chip players or McDonald's All-American. But schools like Wisconsin, you kind of off the beaten path. And let me do this, just kind of went in, and I never liked Bielema. And Bielema is coaching at Illinois now. And Illinois went into Indiana, and Indiana spanked that behind. I mean, they blew them out. So, yeah, I didn't like Bielema. There's certain coaches at Wisconsin, he was one of them. He was one of them, and so he ended up he went to Arkansas, and he's at Illinois. I think he replaced Lovie Smith, right? Bielema.
Frank Bielema?
Yeah, he replaced Lovie.
Who was the other dude? What was his name? Brett Alvarez?
Well, Barry Alvarez was coach, and he succeeded Alvarez as coach, right? And then, like I said, he ended up and he's gotten good jobs. He ended up in Arkansas, SEC. Now he's at Illinois, Big Ten. That's a great thing about the Big Ten now, though, because they got USC and UCLA. Now, that ain't a bad trip. You know, go to the Rose Bowl, go to the Coliseum. I know for those are talking about alumni and we're alumni and how teams travel. And Wisconsin travels pretty well, but if you have a destination, I was watching was that Philly and the Rams yesterday, and the number of green jerseys that you saw, you know, in the stands. I didn't get a lot. I was because I went to Red Zone. So I didn't get a chance to really see what that crowd looked like down in Chicago at Soldier Field. But I'm sure there were a lot of Cowboy fans at that game because um, there's about 1 million Hispanics in Chicago. People don't realize how many. That's one of the reasons why they want to do that immigration enforcement in Chicago. And so and a lot, especially a lot of Hispanics who come from Texas, are big Cowboy fans, real big Cowboy fans. And you see it here in Milwaukee, where you know there are a lot of Cowboy fans. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. America's team. So they play next Sunday night, right? Packers, Cowboys. Yeah. And the way Chicago whooped up on the Cowboys yesterday, you know, and Jerry Jones was coming out and they had him at the press conference and he's trying to explain. Explaining, man. You know, it's hard to. Will we ever see a dynasty like we saw with the Patriots? You know, a team that could be that dominant. What they won 6 Super Bowls? I know Brady has 7 rings. He got 1 with Tampa Bay. Will you see that type of? You know, it's hard going back to back. You know, now you can get to the Super Bowl, but I'm trying to think. Kansas City went back to back. They won the first time they were there, and then they lost to. I still can't believe the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year.
Right. That part.
Was I that disinterested? So there's some franchises in trouble. Certainly the Falcons are in trouble. They're in trouble. And before I sit up and doing all this hate, I'm hoping the Packers are not in trouble. Because again, if you watched that game yesterday, where you know there was no way. I mean, you know, you figure, okay, we survived to kick the field goal after they did a very good job of that goal line stand. You know, but penalties and bonehead penalties, man. I mean, just you told me, was it Morgan? 77? 3 penalties?
Yeah, 3 penalties.
I blame Matt LaFleur though, because in the beginning of the game, Matt LaFleur, he had Aaron Banks starting and he had Zach Tom starting. They both was hurt. They both was hurt for the last 2 weeks. They was hurt. So now after the first quarter, they hurt the first drive. Now you putting in 2 new offensive linemen. That's who should have been getting the reps all week. So now Jordan Morgan getting false starts. He nervous. He out there with Myles Garrett. Of course you nervous. Yeah. He should have been getting the reps all week.
And Myles ate him.
The one play where who's their other stud, the other rusher. They had 3 people blocking Myles Garrett, and everybody else is like 1-on-1. It's like, no. But when you saw they showing 3 dudes out there, I was like, oh man. Well, dude is one of the best pass rushers in the game.
Yeah.
But mistakes, man. Focus, concentrate, dude. And I know he all nervous. I get all of that, but you get a paycheck.
Yeah, Doc.
Call her out to the program. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hi.
All right. Well, I want to just mention a person whose birthday they passed on, but it was last week, and if you allow me just to mention Miss Janetta Robinson. And she contributed. Janetta Robinson.
Oh, Janetta Robinson.
Yeah. Yes, and she contributed a lot to the community. So I just wanted to mention her name and thank her for what she contributed to the community with CYD and other things. And then my last comment had to do with from Friday. I think that some of the callers, as well as DJ himself, they were implying or actually saying directly that we would love to hear more from him. He's been around now a few years now, so we've seen him grow up. Actually, he was pretty mature when he came on in many ways. So I just wanted to put that on the table, that if you don't mind.
No, not a problem. Yeah, we were going to fire him, but thank you. The fact that you called in, that means his job is saved. You saved DJ's job, because we're going to have a meeting like, dude, you know.
There was two people Friday. That's what kind of gave me the courage to call in to say that, because the lady had called in, and I'm like, yeah, he's been around a minute now, and he's maybe coming into even more maturity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that's just my request, along with what I picked up, and actually from him too, because he said something about, I feel cheated because certain things I'm not supposed to talk about, or something like that. He said.
Oh yeah, he couldn't use the word Trump.
Oh, well.
See, we it's Monday. Trump. We could trump it up on Mondays, but
that's fine with me, because
here's what part of that little the method and the madness is: how can you talk about him without using his name? That's the trick, because it's Friday, man. I mean, these weeks get long, man. I mean, this dude, oh man, the first term, it was great for us. It was great for radio. We always had something to talk about. Okay, you know how when you look at babies and they do little stuff that you think is cute, and then after a while, they begin to get on your nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was so cute. It ain't cute now. It ain't cute no more. Like, come on, man.
Well, I'm not advocating for saying that name either. I can do for one day without hearing that name. But in terms of his readings, his perspectives and whatnot, if he wants to lead a discussion on some of the things, or how he came about to those, ideas and things, that would be very interesting. And I like that we're still connecting with some of the younger adults, although he's, like I said before, he's gone. Very young adult too.
I try to explain to him, man, you sound 60 years old, dude. I'm supposed to be that dude. You that dude. Get off my grass. That's and the whole thing was, someone had called in and said, how long should he be the protege? I guess a guy called and said his 23-year-old son wants to know. And what me and DJ said was, okay, y'all come up with something that rhymes with DJ, and we can roll from there.
Yes. Well, he remains your protege to a certain extent, but he does have ideas and thoughts and things, and I can tell he's not afraid to.
Can I share a little inside baseball with you? When he first came to me with the idea of doing a perspective, he would send me his perspectives prior to the program. Not that he needed to. And so that must have been maybe the first two. I still have some of them in my, where I've downloaded them. But I don't pre-screen. I don't edit, free speech. And so I have an enormous amount of trust in him, that he's able to come in and express his ideas and do it in such a way that it's thought-provoking, and it still could be provoking. But I appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that he has just brought so much to the program. So, okay, we won't have that meeting, Jay. Appreciate you, dude.
Okay, there's a few fans out here, I guess. Thank you.
Saved by the call.
He called in. I'm fired.
On your day off.
On your day off, right? Caller, welcome to the program.
That's hilarious. hilarious.
You're fired on your day off, and you work on Fridays.
Right.
Call and welcome to the program.
I'd like to make a comment about Miss Janetta Robinson. First thing I know, they always were trying to accuse her of things, but never could find anything on her. Janetta Robinson was a good soul. She really was. She was the first one that got a bus going to Lincoln Hill to see those kids. It all came through something with her. And they never could find anything on her. They were worried about the ring. The ring she was wearing was $9.99 from Marshfield. So I was surprised it passed Michelle this morning because she probably would have mentioned something about her. And then thank God for that exit on the freeway. That was a little memorial to Janetta Robinson. So she was certainly a great help to this community, but in an humble, compassionate way.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 414-444-5250, 444-5250. I was just asking Byron, did he see the latest Superman? Have you seen it? Quan, have you seen it? No. I watched it. I don't know. I think after, and maybe, and here we go, that I asked yesterday, we always ask, what was the best decade for music?
Oh, yeah.
Usually the decade you came to your teenage and early young adult years is usually the best ever. But I really liked the first two Superman with Christopher Reeve.
Oh,
yeah. I thought those were good. And it's funny because I'm trying to think, was it 1987 that they did the remake of Batman? It's like 87, 88 that they did that.
Man, there's been so many Batman.
And that was Michael Keaton. He did the.
That was 87?
It had to be like 87, 88. I remember going to the midnight showing.
I was there
for
when
they
Batman with Michael Keaton. But I mean, which one of those actors died after Batman?
Heath Ledger. But he played the Joker.
He played the Joker.
And he played the Joker. Dude, that
is
but
he was trapped in that mold. Like he couldn't get out of that mold.
Dude, he that was good. I mean, he was good. And then I think a lot of the was it Commissioner Gordon and who was the chief? Commissioner Gordon. I know Billy D. Williams. He played either the mayor or Batman movie. So who would be your favorite Batman?
My favorite Batman.
After Adam West.
I mean, to be honest, man, that was my favorite Batman. Pow, pop up on the screen.
Oh, man.
Skedaddle. That was my favorite Batman, man. Saturday afternoons, man.
Okay, now let's do this, and we do it, man. We talk about everything and nothing. Okay, Wikipedia did a listing of Batman movies, and a lot of people don't realize Batman goes back to like the 30s.
Really?
Yeah, it was a serial. Let's see. Yep, there were two serial films in the 1940s, Batman and Robin. And then in 1966, they did Batman the movie.
66.
Right. And then that was based on the TV series. 1989 was the one Tim Burton did with Michael Keaton. And then they did it. So I did go to see that one. I went to the midnight showing for that. But people who have played Batman, of course, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, who just recently passed, right? Cancer. George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson, and the original Batman since 1943 in the movies was a guy named Lewis Wilson. Lewis Wilson. I'm not a comic book guy. And if I like comics, it would be Marvel. I'm not a DC guy. So, all right. Let me thank Miss Grace Fuhr of Historic Milwaukee. And again, doors open in Milwaukee. Let me thank them. Let me thank all the callers. Byron, thank you. Quan, thank you. Debo, thank you. Jermaine, thank you. Clark, wherever you are, thank you. Good Lord, willing, creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.